Chapter 5, and conclusion. So, Chapter 5, the magic of tidying up dramatically transforms your life. So part of the author's point, it becomes a sum uppance, if you will, of everything she said before. Sort of the vague reasoning why you should bother. She describes the process of tidying up not only as you're not just getting rid of stuff, you're actually discovering something about yourself. She describes a scenario in which she has a client who was a friend of hers from long ago, who was in one particular profession. She goes through the tidying process, gets rid of everything that doesn't bring her joy, and she looks at her bookshelf and realizes that the profession she's in has nothing to do with the stuff she's actually left on her bookshelf. Instead, she realizes she wants to go into some other profession entirely, and it actually does so after having cleared away all the chaff. So I think the author's point is well taken, that by getting rid of all the ancillary, unrelated stuff that you really don't care about, it allows you to focus more specifically on those things you really do care about, and it also tends to free up your life in other ways as well. You don't have to spend time worrying about all that random garbage. You can set your mind and your life to do just the things you care about. So it's a powerful comment, I think, and one that would be easy to overlook. She goes on to describe the reason we have trouble getting rid of things, and she boils this down pretty succinctly to two basic premises. The first is attachment to the past, sort of regret, if you will, and the second is fear of the future. I think I might need this. So in both cases, you have sort of an unhealthy thing going here, because on one hand you're trying to go back somewhere that you probably can't go, and on the other you're afraid of where you're going to end up in the future. And she makes the point, again rightly, that ownership of possessions is a driving force in our lives. In many ways, we're defined by the things we have. So if the things you have are two negative emotions, fear and regret, then then those possessions do not constitute a positive force in your life in the first place. So again, an important overarching point. She tells us too that just because you follow this process doesn't mean that you won't at some point regret something you got rid of. And she draws a distinction between regretting getting rid of something and actually complaining about it, as she puts it, or between having the pang of regret and having an actual issue with it. She points out that really this detachment from the physical actually ends up working out into your benefit, because if you've got 1,000 things and you think you know where number 900 is, you can spend a lot of time looking for number 9, the 900th thing. But if you have pared yourself down to the point where you don't have all this ancillary garbage, then you have freed yourself from doubt. You know definitively, yes, I don't have that. Now I can move on to the process of dealing with whatever this gap is in my life. So it is a stress relief in a way to not have that doubt as to, do I have it or not? Nope, definitely don't. Going to move on, figure out what to do next. Sort of conversely, though, she points out that there are some things which you should not bow to peer pressure and get rid of. And she gives an example of this really absurd shirt that she likes to wear around the house. People make fun of her for it all the time, but it brings her such joy that she refuses to get rid of it. And she wonders there will be things of that sort in your journey to declutter as well, and you should resist the temptation to take the advice of other people and get rid of stuff that really is joyful for you. Next is a hunk about basically treating your home with respect. She describes her process of entering a client's house and sort of greeting the house and sort of making a mental bond with it, if you will, to kind of try to pick up its vibe. I would say so. I would discard some of the metaphysical mumbo jumbo and get back to just the key point of respect, because I mean your home is a reflection of you, and if you disrespect your home, you're disrespecting yourself. So very keenly, there's a relationship to be set up here to say, okay, I'm going to respect my home. I'm going to keep it tidy. And also, this tidiness is going to make me feel happy. And I think this is really the crux of the reason this works is because of that feedback mechanism of I show my home respect, my home is neat and orderly. That gives me positive energy to do whatever I'm going to do, allowing me to focus on what's important, allowing me to feel good about myself and what's going on. Those positive emotions, therefore, cause you to all the positive benefits that would come from just being happy. Endorphins. It all comes down to brain chemistry. But frankly, if you can increase the positive thoughts of the positive thoughts in your life just by having a well organized sock drawer, I think that's a pretty small price to pay. So a lot of people pay a lot of money for pharmaceuticals to do the same thing. So essentially, that is the grand sum up of the book. I would say is that getting into that feedback mechanism of, happy home, happy you, more focused and happier life. She even goes on to describe that some of her clients, end up being in better health because of it. And again, the way she puts it is very metaphysical, but from a mere practicality standpoint, it makes good sense because you feel good about yourself. You're going to take better care of yourself because of the positive feelings that rain down on you from just walking into the house and thinking, this is my space. This is well organized. I like this. This is me. Great. So at any rate, I hope this has been a useful summary. I feel as if I've babbled on for quite a while considering the brevity of the book, but I don't know. If anyone's actually watching this or reading it, then I'll be somewhat surprised, but except for one notable exception. Hello. But at any rate, until next time, happy reading.